Hello there, crafters. Today we are making a couple of things that go with a passage from 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And the part that we're really going to focus on here is how Paul describes that we have treasures in jars of clay. That is, we as humans have this amazing treasure of the gospel inside us, that we are able, even in our humble bodies, to carry the love of Christ and the wonderful news of God's love to others. So we're going to make a couple of crafts that celebrate that. The first one we're going to do is we're going to do an inside-out treasure box. It's not exactly inside out, but the inside is more important than the outside. So we're going to start off with a humble vessel, like a jar of clay. You could use a jar if you like, or I'm going to use an old shoebox. You could also do a paper bag or a shirt box, or any kind of just relatively boring on the outside thing. So we're going to start off with my shoebox, and I'm going to, on the outside of this shoebox, I'm going to put a note that kind of warms up the concept. And so I'm going to just cut a piece of paper here, and I'll write on it something like not much on the outside, ... And that's the only thing I'm going to do as far as decorating the outside of the box goes. So I'm going to glue this or tape it to the outside of the box. Then on the inside is where we'll really go to town. So boring outside of the box. Then you open it up in here, and this is where we have a lot of fun. So I'm going to put another label on the inside of it, and on this label I'm going to write, wonderful things within. And then I'm going to mark the reference here, treasure in jars of clay. Now these days clay might seem like a kind of cool exotic pottery sort of thing. In Jesus' time, not so exciting. And then I'll reference our verse. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And now we're going to get creative and have fun decorating the inside of the box. So this is where you can do it really however you want. One thing I would recommend is somewhere in the center of it we want to put the cross, because that is the treasure. The treasure is Jesus and the good news of the gospel that we have to share with others. But other than that, you can just kind of have fun making it look like a treasure box. So I've got some aluminum foil, and I'm going to put that down as sort of an inlay to show this treasure theme. And then I've got a streamer that I'm just going to kind of run around it just for fun, because it's pretty and colorful and neat. I've got some stickers, I've got pom-poms, I've got some fun, crazy duct tape. We're just going to kind of go to town doing ridiculous decoration things, whatever your definition of treasure might be. But, of course, we also have to have the true treasure being found in Christ. So that's going to be an element as well. So let me put down a few more. You can do glitter if you have a mind to do glitter, or if you have lost your mind and want to do glitter, whichever the case may be. I've got little gemstones. Those are always a fun hit. But again, just kind of have fun with making this your treasure box. And you could also make it something that is a practical double use for kids. So maybe encourage them to, make this your piggy bank for tithing, for your church offerings. Or make it something that you can collect your own small treasures in, or something that you can use to put Sunday school things in. You know, there's a lot of variety of ways you can go here. I'm gonna put the glitter there. And I'll throw on a few more decorations. I'm not gonna go as crazy as you are because, of course, we are in a time crunch and we are just demonstrating the wonderful possibilities that you can do with your wonderful treasure box. So again, I'm going to put the cross in the center, and that's going to be my wonderful crazy after I do this fun crazy tape, because why not? Or I could make the cross out of crazy tape, but you know, somehow that just seems a little odd. But here is my let's get my cross here, and then we will move it on. So I'm going to it did not work the way I wanted it to. Let's try it again. Make it look a little more cross-like. There we go. All right, so I'm going to place my cross down in the center. And again, those are just a few ideas. You can do whatever works best for you and for your wonderful, fun treasure box. So, boring and bland on the outside, wonderful and exciting inside. And again, you could also do that with anything from a paper bag to a paper plate to whatever simple kind of thing you have. Doesn't have to be an entire shoebox, but it can be. So, next craft is, this one is pretty simple actually, and I'm going to be creating an actual jar of clay. Well, it's not exactly a jar, but I've got modeling clay, and you could also use Play-Doh, or you could make your own Play-Doh, but I'm going to use the air drying modeling clay, which is really fun and usable for a wide variety of things, and can also get your fingers a little messy if it happens to be pink. But I'm going to use this as the basis for my jar. Now, you can instruct kids to make jars, and you can kind of show them around how to do that. Or you can have them make another kind of clay item, or you can let them just do whatever they want and play around with the clay. But, you know, you're kind of talking about how not only the fact of this jar being a simple, humble vessel, just as we are simple, humble vessels, but also how God molds and shapes us and can use us for any sort of special purposes. So I'm just going to kind of have a little fun with this one, and I'm going to make it sort of like a bowl-ish thing with some decorations around it. Or maybe I don't even really know what I'm doing. You know, that's the joy of art, is that we can just kind of get creative and mold and shape and adjust and change things however we wish them to be. So I'm just going to kind of do like a decoration around my bowl-ish thing. And of course this looks more like a bowl than a jar necessarily, but you get the idea. If you really want to get technical with it, you could mold this around something. You know, if you've got another jar, you can shape it and mold it. And if you are able to make this sort of a 2-week project, you could let the clay dry and then come back and have the kids paint and decorate over it. Or you can just send it home on a little plate and have them decorate it at home. Speaking of a plate, we're going to, you can use paper, or the nice thing with a plate is it's a little more sturdy as a carrying vessel, or you can use both. And we'll put a kind of a caption on that plate, or paper on a plate, if you so choose. And that will kind of highlight to remind us, okay, what in the world are we doing here? So I'm going to put my paper in the center of my plate, and then I can put my clay in the center of the paper. You can glue the jar down. You don't have to, especially if you want to actually use it. Maybe kids can use this to store something. You know, let it dry first, and then it can be useful for whatever kind of purposes. And we will caption this with the same kind of thing. Treasure in jars of clay. It's not just a 90s band, folks. It's from the Bible. So, reference it here. And there you have a fun way to literally celebrate this passage with an actual jar of clay. And again, if you don't have the modeling clay or don't want to purchase it, you can just play with Play-Doh if you've got younger kids. That's always fun too. But a literal representation of our text, and a fun way to remember the meaning behind it as well. Again, just a couple of ideas to hopefully get the ball rolling with your thoughts and ideas. Feel free to shape it, quite literally. Make it your own. Do what you like with it. And enjoy. Join us again, because we have new videos every week with message and craft ideas that hopefully will be a blessing to you and your ministry, wherever and with whomever that might be. Now, go make some crafts, make some disciples, have a great week, and we will see you next time.